Howdy, hi, and hello. Welcome to Creatures and Cantrips, a podcast where me, Noah, and usually a couple of my cup of coffee. I'm too comfy for this. Howdy, hi, and hello. Welcome to Creatures and Cantrips, a podcast where me and usually a couple of my other dickhead friends play a game of Dungeons and Dragons or talk about a topic about Dungeons and Dragons. But as you can tell, I'm by myself today, and I wanted to try and do something not different for D&D wise, but different for just us. Many times of D&D players have seen people that have asked to play or don't know how to play but want to try, or just has an idea of it but too scared to try. And that's where I wanted to come in, because I see all these other YouTube videos about these are the 8 tips, these are 10 tips on how to start for new players, or the basic rules for new players, or blah blah blah. For me, I wanted to try and focus on, if you are interested, what you would have to do to actually start. And for that, I'm going to start this episode off by saying welcome to Noah's Nest. This is going to be a small series where me, Noah, the usual DM, will sit down where you can get all comfy and cozy, drink a hot cup of hot chocolate, hot tea, if you're really tired and want to wake up, a thing of coffee, so you can just hear me talk about just the basics. Today, I'm just going to talk about the beginner's quote-unquote guide to D&D, even though it's not really a guide. It's just my own point of view on what you should do if you want to start playing this beautiful hobby. I want to start off by saying you do not have to play this game. No one's forcing you to play this game. There are many other games that you can play and still have fun with. That can be from board games, that can be card games, video games, anything. But if you are interested in role-playing games like D&D, I'm here to kind of help. I don't think I'm qualified to give you help, to give anyone help, but it's better than just not giving any advice at all. I've been there where I was lost in the sea of creativity and rules and character sheets and notes and everything, and you just get flustered and you just don't know what to do. You want to play, but it seems like it's way too much. You don't need all of that. The only things you need are dice, a group of friends, a character sheet for you to create who you want to play. I will dive into each of those. So first off, you're going to need a group of friends. You need to create your party on starting an adventure, or starting with a adventure book or a quick one shot or whatever. You need to find a group of people that seems interested or would like to play with you. That can be in real life, that can be person to person, or it can be from online, going onto Discord servers and seeing if anyone's open to letting you join in. Once you have that down, depending on which way you go, you will need dice. There are digital dice online from Google and D&D Beyond. Those two are the easiest places to get dice digitally. While getting them physically, you will have to either go to a local game shop, game store, or go to Walmart, Or if all of those fail, go to Amazon. They sell a bunch of dice. You can just get a bulk of 10 or 12 sets of dice, and it will just be over and done with. Once you have a group of friends together that would want to play or have already played or whatever, you need to decide who will be your narrator, your person that will describe what's happening in the room or in the area or based on the story that they want. They will be called the DM or GM, which means Dungeon Master or Game Master. They're both the same. People switch them out all the time. That don't focus on that. I usually call them the narrator. I usually call myself the narrator, because that's what you kind of are. That's what that person is. They're here to narrate the story for everyone else to describe or to tell the narrator what they would do in their story. Once you find a group of friends, and once you find which one will be the narrator, you will need to find paper and a printer for you to print a sheet called a character sheet. This main sheet will show you everything that you need. You do not need everything on this fucking sheet. The only things that you really need is your armor, your health, and your stats. Those are the only main things you really need. The stats, I'll go in order. The stats, there are different ways that a DM would let the players use. Or, let me say this better. There are 3 different ways to get stats for your character. One of them is point buy. I think this is the worst way to get a new player to get started, where you have a set number of points where you can spend those points to boost up each of your skills. And it will all depend on what the DM caps it out as. The other 2 are the more well-known or more universally used, is rolling. This is where you would take 4d6 and then get rid of the lowest one. So let's say you would roll a 6, a 4, a 3, and a 2. You would get rid of the 2, and then you would add the 6, 4, and 3 together to get one of your stats. And you would do that 6 times in total for the 6 different stats. The stats are strength, which depends on how strong you are, how much you can push, really. Just pretty much how swole you are that you can get at the gym. Dexterity is next, which is how fast you are, how flexible, are you able to dodge stuff easily, aka how fast you can run as well. Next is Constitution, which is pretty much your health. Are you able to take poison fairly easily? Do you get sick easy? Do you want to have a better immune system than most? Next is Intelligence. How smart you are. How much can you recall from the past couple of hours or past couple of days? If you've read books, can you recall what you have read in those past books? Think of it as studying for a test. Can you recall anything that you've studied so you can get this answer correct on a test? Next is the Wisdom stat, which focuses on common sense, perception, and intuition. It mainly focuses on, are you aware of your surroundings? Are you able to be in tune with nature where you won't have to focus on intelligence? Intelligence is focusing on what you've learned in the past to bring back something that you've learned throughout the many years. while wisdom is something that you gain through growing older. And charisma is focusing on how well people like you. How easily are people able to communicate to you? How socially awkward are you? That one focuses on, are you able to talk to people without needing to go home? Or are you able to talk to someone or get your way out of a speeding ticket? So after you roll all those and choose where you want, that'll help you with everything else. That'll help you with your skills, which you just move certain numbers over. That can help you with your AC, while health is a little bit different. Your health focuses on what health you start at depending on the class that you want to play as. There are 13 different classes. I'm not going to bore you in this episode of what they all are, like what they all can do and blah blah blah. Those will be for other episodes. But the classes are Barbarian, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Monk, Paladin, Ranger, Rogue, Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard. And they added in another one in the past couple of years, which is called an Artificer. They each do different things. They each give you different abilities, and as you level up, they'll give you more stuff. But anyway, after your friends, after you get a group of friends together, after you find out who's going to be the narrator, after you get your dice, and after you create your character, you will be ready to play. You do not have to worry about voices. You do not have to buy any books. You do not have to worry about buying adventure books if you do not want to. In my opinion, I think creating your own makes it more fun. You can be as wacky as you want. You can be as serious as you want. You can be as dark as you want. You do not have to focus. You do not have to follow the line of an adventure book. But if none of you know how to play, then I will suggest one of the 3 starter sets. Those are great ways to start out as completely new players. For anyone. In other episodes, I will focus on character creation and the classes. But as of right now, this is all you really need to start. If you just have the slightest feeling that you would want to try it, talk to some friends. There's nothing hurting. I'll tell you a story in my past. So while I was in high school, in 9th grade going on to 10th, during that summer, I got introduced into D&D. This is by a bunch of my brother's friends that have been playing for only a couple months and thought it was interesting. And D&D 5e was only out fairly recently beforehand. Even though it took many, many hours to get ready and start playing, it became one of my most favorite hobbies. One of my most favorite things to do ever. After getting introduced to that, I started making my own stuff. I've been DMing for the past 8 years now, because ever since one of my friends introduced me and started playing it, something clicked in my head that made me want to create. And I want to say this. If you think you're not creative, I'm going to say that you're wrong. Everyone has some form of creativity in their head, even when you're young. Because when I worked at a daycare of making sure kids don't kill themselves or kill other kids, I was able to introduce D&D to a bunch of 6 to 8-year-olds at such a young age, and they seemed like they loved it. They had all these different ideas, all these creative ideas that they wanted to become, wanted to turn into. People wanted to be anything. There was a kid that wanted to be like a human, but they were starting to mutate into a part fox because of a radioactive explosion that happened. And now they're trying to find the person that caused this explosion to get revenge. That came from an 8-year-old's mind. Think of that. I think the only reason people think that they aren't creative is because either their parents didn't help them keep their creativity going, or schools kind of crushed their creativity because they were forced to do all these different assignments, all these different exams to follow the rules, or parents that made them go down a certain path and forget everything else in the world, forget about everything else that they grew up to be, and they had to do something specific because they told them to. That's it. It hurts. It sucks for them, and I feel sorry for them. But I know deep down everyone has some form of creativity in their mind. I'm for sure of it. It just takes a little push. I'm not saying a hard push. Not a hard push. Just like, we got this. It's okay. Just a light tap. Because everyone is able to create something that they've always wanted to be. And that's the main thing about D&D, where you can create literally anyone that you want and become that person. It makes it beautiful that so many people have created so many characters that have done different things, have been through different things, have been through tragedies, have been through uproars, have been angry all their life, have been sad all their life. But through the story, they're able to change into something better. And that's what I believe in life. People start out at a point where they think that they're not going to go anywhere. They're kind of just stuck there. They're either sad all the time, mad all the time, whatever. But once they play D&D and kind of stick to that same thing where this person's mad all the time or shy, you'll see them grow throughout the many, many years that you'll play with them. As they were first shy to now testing out the waters, to then being able to create their own character for the first time, to then getting out of their shell and starting to talk to other people, starting to open up and be more lively. It's a beautiful sight to see, and it's something that goes overlooked everywhere. People have seen the different TV shows like Stranger Things, Critical Role, Dimension 20, all these different shows that have had D&D in it, or had aspects of D&D in it, and think that they have to focus, that they have to, this is the only way to play. This is the only way to do it. That's not true. The way to play is how you want to play. Don't focus on Critical Role only focuses on this. They do it this way, so you have to do it this way. Or Stranger Things, they have all this dark stuff, and the only way to play is through dark imagery and darkness. No, you don't have to play like that. You can play however you want. You can play however any of your friends want to play. And that's what's amazing in this game. You get to be who you want and play whatever you want. Thank you for joining for Noah's Nest. I hope you had an enjoyable time. If you didn't, that's fine. But it was something that I wanted to try, and I kind of liked it. So, if you would like to check anything out, you can check out Killer Mimic merch. Cody's company is doing great. They have a newer design of a ramen bowl mimic. Beautiful, beautiful design. You can check them out on everything that's at Killer Mimic merch. The other shout out will be Hope K Thrifts, a secondhand reselling shop that focuses on sustaining the environment in a cheap, fashionable way. So think of all of the different name brands, from Nike to Lululemon to Puma to all of that. Everything that she sells, she's putting them at $20 or less. Converse, the whole trendy brands. You can find her at Hope K Thrifts. It's all one word. You can buy stuff from Poshmark, Depop, Mercari, and a bunch of other places. She has an Instagram, and if you would like to find something and get some extra percentage off, you can send her a message at code CHEAPTHRIFTS. We'll get 10% off. Anyway, thank you all for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day. You can find us at Creatures and Cantrips everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Thank you to Poor Man's Poison for allowing us to use their music. Anything else? Anything else, Noah? No, I don't think anything else. Okay. Thank you, and I bid you all a beautiful night.